Okay, as promised, update on the little birds. These guys, we just caught them in the last video, or I caught one of them in the last video, on the roof of their coop. So if you have been following along, you know they're getting to be big birds, except for this little guy. Where'd he go? There you are. He's still struggling. But these guys are starting to become full-on adult birds. They're not yet full grown by any means, and they're still peeping, so that's why, you know, they're still out here. But look at them. They're starting to figure themselves out. They're starting to get bolder. They are definitely working the fence line for bugs and yummies, so they're understanding what the outdoors is all about. They've settled into their area pretty comfortably. They're starting to establish some flock rules and hierarchies, and it's kind of fun to watch. And I'm also, you know, super excited because I think that there are quite a few hens in this group, which is usually not the case. I usually end up with many more roosters than I need or want. See how they're working? They go right in between the fence and they will just pick bugs right off of the long grass. And we do leave some of the grass long purposely around the fence for this exact purpose. Not everything, because of course I want to be able to see them, right? So I don't want it to be fully jungle-fied. But they will sit here for hours and work that edge. And what are they picking off? They're picking off, it could be larvae from other bugs, right? Caterpillars, it could be flies, it could be aphids, it could be the Japanese beetles, it could be Sophie. Have you noticed their reactions have changed? So the first couple of times, first couple of days when the dogs would come by, they would all get very freaked out. They would sort of run to a completely different area. They would be very concerned. Now they're kind of like, look, we got things to do. Stop bothering us. They know that if they go in the middle, they're well outside of the range, and they just go right back to what they were doing, working the sides. They're completely unbothered, and that is exactly the acclimation that we're looking for. Now, currently, everything is saturated. I don't know if you can see all the water hanging on the fence. Of course, one good breeze and it's going to come down on my head and I'll be sopping wet. Oh, I don't know if you heard that. That was Voodoo. Voodoo is hollering for some reason. Everybody here, everybody still has their baby voice. I haven't heard any crowing yet. So, but seeing perching on the top of the coop means that crowing is coming. Our duck, his or her wings are starting to grow in. The last time we looked, which was just a couple of days ago, Ducky didn't have much by way of wing feathers, and they're really starting to come in now. Instead of being little stubs, we're starting to see some nice feathering. And yeah, I would say certainly by end of month, end of July, they are going to be ready to go out into the big flock, possibly even sooner than that. It really kind of depends on a couple of things, right? It depends on, one, the whole dynamic. So this little guy here, this like runt of the litter, needs to catch up, and the rest of them won't move until he does, or she. Just so that I'm not moving a teeny tiny one that's just going to get picked on unmercifully, right? Let him or her get to the right size. So that is a factor. Second is weather. It does take a little bit of work to move these guys. So if we're going to have another round of heat waves where it's hundreds of degrees, where it's 100 degrees, we won't move them just because the humans can't stand it. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this crop. And like I said, you know, like our colors are not standard colors. They're not show colors. They would be considered quote unquote mutts because they're sort of just a mix from my mixed flock that started out all perfect colors, but you know, they intermingle. So something like this is what you get. This is not a normal coloration, but I love it. I love the uniqueness. I love the white head. I love the lacing on the back. It's random. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense, but it's there and I love it. So yeah, that's the update from the birdies. They're growing up. We'll probably have them in here, like I said, another 3 weeks or so. And then again, it really depends on life and our little guy that has decided not to grow up at the same speed as everybody else. And there's really no reason for it. It was hatched at the same time. It was, you know, it's not younger. It's just growing a lot slower. And it's trying, I think, to make up for lost time here. Because every time I see it, it's at the food. It's at the food bucket. And, you know, like his feathers, here he is. And I call it a he. I have no idea. They all are he until such time as they lay an egg. You know, his feathering is coming in. His legs are thick, right? Like, he's got his wings. It's just his size. And I don't know, maybe he'll just stay tiny. But we're going to give him some time and see what happens. In the meantime, enjoy the peeping with a little bit of Voodoo screaming in the background. And I think until next time, I got work to do. Bye for now.